So we did something awesome the day before Thanksgiving. For the first time, we processed our own pasture-raised meat chickens. As a family, this was our first attempt at doing it the whole process by ourselves, from raising to butchering. So we want you to join in our experience and see how we did with our processing setup to finally bagging and freezing our own chickens.
Tomorrow's our processing day of our chickens, so we set up our little processing assembly line. It's going to be our first time processing by ourselves, so hopefully it works out. Have our killing cones set up. We're only going to do 2 at a time. We're going to move to our scalder setup. Then we're going to do our plucker, and everything is set by water, electricity, and then finally our table. We're going to have a cutting board and some knives so we can fully process the chickens. We got our ice in the freezer already, so hopefully by tomorrow we'll have 24 chickens in the cooler. Alright, so we're out getting ready to process our chickens. We got a few things set up yesterday, but today we brought out a cutting board, dedicated cutting board, so we're not slicing up on our table. And we went to a chicken butchering class, and a little technique that they taught us is write out sort of the process on how you're going to process the chicken. So those are going to be the steps. We're going to see how well it works for us, and obviously being our first time, we may change things halfway through, but we'll see. We got our bins for our ice. We're going to bring that out soon. Garbage bags in our pails to minimize any cleanup. Got some aprons because it's going to get messy. And then our water is getting up to 150. Got our pails under our kill cones. I think we're all set to go.
Just wanted to give you a little heads up. There are some scenes that are sensitive. We are dispatching some chickens. We are processing them. We will not show the killing of the chickens, but we will show the scalding to remove the feathers, have them in the plucker, and we will show them how we remove the internal organs and the guts. So if that's something you don't want to see, you can fast forward to the end or skip those parts, but we have raised these animals in such a humane way and want to process them in the most humane way as possible, and are thankful to God that they will be providing food and sustenance for our family.
Little start to the day. First chicken.
First one. Try to remember everything that we learned.
The back, right? Like that?
Yeah. You did. Yeah. So they go straight down. Get their feet.
And the head.
And their head is through the cone. And basically, we're not going to show you the cut, but you grab the head, you're looking for the jawline. So there's the jaw where my finger is. You're looking for that. Wrap your finger around, okay? And then you can tilt the head to the side, so you're pushing the jugular out a little bit. And then when you cut, you can move some feathers away. You're going to take your knife, your sharp knife, and not in a sawing motion, but a straight cut. So you're going to apply pressure and you're going to cut through, and then it's going to bleed.
So after our chicken has been exsanguinated, the next thing we're going to move it to is the scalder. The purpose of this is pretty much to loosen up the feathers for the next step that we're going to go into. You usually want your heat to be around, you want it to be between 150 to 160, but the closer to 150 it is, the better, because you don't want to burn the chicken. Usually we dip it in. Gotta get the feet down in there. I usually give it a little wiggle, and then you bob it up and down. I usually do this a couple of times, and then the test is whenever you pull it out. These feathers here should be easy to remove. So it's still difficult, which means that we're gonna just give it a couple more dips and swirls.
crop, and it's empty because you don't feed them like 24 hours before, so that'll be empty. And then you have your esophagus. Once that's there, everything's gonna be pulled through the vent area, the butt end. So now we take it. Now we're gonna go to the guts. So don't stick your knife in, just make a little slit. Yeah, and so once you got the hole, open it. So you open the cavity. This is the gross part. Now you're gonna go in with your hand and scoop everything out and pull it out.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And you can save the livers if you want, the heart, but we're gonna put ours in our gut bucket.
The lungs, did you take them all
Yeah,
out?
so there's a lung.
Lungs are probably the hardest part to remove. And it's not hard, it's just, it takes a little bit to scoop it out because of how close they are to the ribs. And then once Nick is done with this, what we've been doing is just rinsing it, and then putting it in ice so that the meat comes to temperature, and then we'll go ahead and vacuum seal them later.
You're doing good. What chicken number are we at right now?
This is our fourth one. We finished. Juana's done a good job digging out the guts. This is a fat boy. So, super proud. Good job, Juana.
This is the washout dip.
Cleans out any other remaining blood, other pieces of meat that didn't pull out, and then it helps the initial relaxation of the muscles. So, in there a couple seconds, and then we put it in the long bath.
Here's our long bath. We already have a couple of chickens that are already in there.
Shrink wrapping our chickens. Putting it in the water, pulling out the tube, shrinking it up, pulling the zip tie. So right now they're at 40 degrees. The chickens are because they were sitting in the ice bath. And so now we can shrink wrap them. That is pretty neat.
At the end of a long day, we have a freezer full of our own pasture raised chickens. And as a family, we had a great time doing it together.
Boys, I spanked his neck.
What chicken number are we at right now?
Chicken number
5.
This is 4. Well, that's trying the chicken, but legs.
What temperature are they at?
They're at 40-ish degrees.
Throw them in the electric boogaloo thing, and it shakes them around and gets all the feathers loose. You can see them in a pile there, but it's been going pretty well.
Shakes it right around.
Yeah.
Right around.
Oh, it's spinning you right around there? Yeah, around. Like a record?